Hi. Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of my Happiness Habit series. And today we've got a super special friend of mine. She is such an inspiration, and I've just been so excited all week to get her on board. So I can see that you're on here. I'm just going to do a quick welcome to everybody that comes on. If you're watching on the replay, please hashtag replay. I'll reach out to you. Thank you so much for your time. And I want to welcome Vicky K. She's now here. I can see that you're here, Vic. I'll just pop you on. So, Lindsay, and I'm on a mission to inspire people to take responsibility for their own life. And through doing that, through looking at our own habits and through taking on board our own mindset and working through them. And what I have found is that success leaves clues. And each with them clues, we have habits. And to form them habits, I come up with the idea to take on an interview series with some absolutely amazing people. And I'm just asking a series of questions, and I want to be able to see what works for those and what doesn't work. So basically, it's to inspire and to motivate you guys to take something, learn something, and to create the life of your own design. So welcome so much. Hello, it is so good to have you on here. I hope you're well.
I'm good. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. So everyone, this is Vicky. She is absolutely amazing. Do you want to introduce yourself, Vicky? You can tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, hi everyone. Thanks again, Lauren, for inviting me to come on. Again, I am a bit nervous, so you'll have to excuse me if I start going and things like that. But that's just me. Thank you for, like I say, for inviting me on here. This series, obviously, me and Lauren have been friends for a long time. Even though we haven't actually met in person, you know, I think of you as one of my bestest friends.
I told you starting right at the start, don't
yeah. And the thing is as well is me personally, I don't open up to a lot of people. That is just something that I've sort of learned. Like it's like, well, obviously it's a learned behaviour. You know, the society expects you to be strong all the time and smile all the time. And, you know, I suppose I moulded myself into that, you know, oh, you know, she's always happy. So if something goes wrong, it's like, it's fine. So that was sort of, I've grown so much in obviously even opening up to you, Lauren. So even before we even start, I just want to take this, you know, opportunity to say thank you for this, because I can feel myself shaking, but I know this is how I'm going to grow. So
proud of you. So proud.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is me, and I've not written. I've not written anything down.
Nervous though at all.
Well, I think that's sort of my job role as well. You've sort of got to have a steely exterior, you know. It's sort of like, again, it's sort of like a sort of self-protection type thing as well, you know. But if like I say, I haven't wrote anything down.
It's real and raw.
Come out. Yeah, well, that's just me in a nutshell.
Absolutely. So when you just said about your career, can you just, what is it that you do? Just share a little bit.
Oh, sorry. No,
don't apologise. It's just, I'm just going to, you know, just throw questions at you, don't worry. There's no right or wrong.
Brill. Right. Well, I've been in the medical field for my whole life. I went into that because it was my passion to help people. And back then, I'm not going to give away my age, by the way. But back then, sort of this sort of, you know, job roles fitted everything that you know, meant everything to me, really. So yeah, you know, I love obviously helping people, whether it be I don't know, like what I'm doing now, you know, obviously sharing stories, or, you know, saving lives, you know, that's just our role. And yeah, so that's me. And recently, I started network marketing. It was sort of, I seen a friend did it, and the community that she had was just amazing. And I thought, oh, I'll get into more of that in a bit, obviously, when we dig a little bit deeper. But yeah, so I call myself a networker with a medical degree. So.
And I absolutely love that. And the reason I questioned that, the reason I asked you about it, is because a lot of people kind of think, it's only a certain type of person that can change. It's only, and what I'm trying to share is that it's every single walk of life and every single event, challenge. It makes us no different whether we have a medical degree, whether we don't have qualifications or not. We still have them same challenges. And there's certainly no disrespect, and I admire everybody that works and gets the qualifications and does everything in that way. But my mission is to help those people that it doesn't matter like what level you're on. It doesn't matter what qualification. It makes no difference whether you're a CEO or whether you're a stay-at-home mum. You're no different. We are all one together. And it's all of these tips and habits, and I know you've got some absolutely incredible ones coming up. So I'm going to jump in with the first question. So anyone that's been watching these series will know that the questions are all similar, and what I'm going to do is collate them all together, and I will be able to then use that and be able to show people different tools and techniques of what's working for everybody. So again, thank you so much for being a part of this for me. And so question one, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm sorry if I interrupt you. I get a little bit passionate and a little bit excited, so if I jump in, just carry on talking.
Okay, I'm the same.
What are your first thoughts or feelings when you're asked the question, how happy are you?
Right, okay. Well, that question to me is a really, really hard question to answer, to be honest. Because I believe that happiness is a choice every day. You get to wake up in the morning and yeah, okay, circumstances arise, life happens, that's what life is. But don't get me wrong, I've not always felt like this. I've had to learn and I've had to educate myself and reteach old habits and things like that. But on how happy am I at the moment? I would say I can answer in the moment. So at the moment, I'm about an 8 at the moment.
Excellent.
I'm not saying when I woke up this morning, I was an 8. I had to work for that 8. Does that make sense?
Love that.
I have days where I wake up and I'm a -10, and I have to work doubly hard on my mindset rituals to make that choice to be happy. Yeah.
So
I don't know when.
I'm getting emotional because I know I know a bit of the background, and I'm sure you're going to share it soon. And I just absolutely admire your strength, admire your courage, and I just can't wait to get to these little bits. And you will. It's that belief, and you'll get that belief.
Honestly, don't admire, because people only see what you show them. Does that make sense? And the reason why I really wanted to do this is to tell everybody, even though, okay, I keep my social media really, really positive, okay? I keep my interactions with humans very, very positive. That's through learned behaviour that I've had to learn to survive, if that makes sense. So it's, people don't see what happens behind closed doors. People don't see that, I'm not going to swear, but that when shit happens, it's awful. We all react the same. It's like, oh my god, oh god, why me? And oh god, poor me. And fucking hell, like, why can't I get a break? And we all get that, and that's okay. But it's your responsibility to get yourself out of victim mode. And only when someone said that so blatantly to me, it actually upset me. Like, I was like, oh, what do you mean, Vicky?
How dare you say that about me?
How dare you? Oh, I was like, don't, and like went into a tizzle. And it wasn't until I actually sat and reflected on that and I thought, oh my God, so right. Like, that is just so right. It's like, and that's why I practice gratitude, because if I didn't, I'd probably still be in that victim mode place.
Mentality. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's not a nice place to be in. But
Well,
once you realise that,
it's a
mm,
low vibe energy, and I know that you're big on your
mhm,
energy. I know that you're big on spirituality, and I
yeah,
also, you've touched on quite a few bits that I'm going to pick up on in a minute,
mhm,
regarding your habits and regarding those rituals and everything. So, and the admiration comes from the strength and it comes from the courage of what everything that you've just said. I know you put on a positive face, and this is what we're taught to do. We're taught to hide our problems, but I admire you because I know that strength. I can see that strength. I hear it in every single message, every post, every time I speak to you. I know the
don't make
second
me
I
cry.
send you a message that I'm going to get a high vibe energy back from you, and you're going to be able to pick me up, and you're going to be able to push, and we kind of bounce off each other in that way. And I just, it's, you touched on so much, and it is, and this series is about, it's, what does happen behind closed doors. We're not all of these positive kind of, not everything goes right. There are challenges,
Mhm.
and we don't talk about the challenges enough. We kind of just brush over them and say, hey, I'm here, come with me. But hang on, how did you get there? And hands up, I've had challenge after challenge after challenge, and I still get challenges constantly. But it's, again, it's how you say, it's with them habits, it's them rituals that we can put in place that then can help us move forward. So I'm just
Exactly.
gonna,
And it's how you react as well. Everything is like, that everything is energy.
absolutely,
Everything is. And
that's my belief. Yeah, yeah. And I've had to
yeah,
learn
my belief,
that.
yeah, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
our belief is energy. Yeah, everything is energy. And it's sort of, you don't get to choose what happens or what doesn't happen to you. That's not down to you. That's not, but you have a choice on how you react to it. Now, I'm not saying that that's easy. I'm saying that's one of the most hardest and one of the most powerfulest things that you could ever do, in my belief, is to be able to sort of sit in a shitstorm and not react to it, and be an observer. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not at that level yet.
No.
I strive, and some days I feel like I am, but then some days I'm a lot more vulnerable and I'm
And
not,
do you
and it's,
find as well that certain areas of your life, because I know with me, certainly, I have certain areas where I strive more in, or certain, I can
mhm,
get challenged in business and it doesn't knock me as much as if I get challenged in a different
yeah,
area in my life. If it's a relationship, I do, I can get triggered a lot quicker and I kind of react a lot
mhm,
quicker to that than I would in a business
yeah.
respect. And, it is, do you feel that as well? Is that something that,
Yeah, and I totally, my belief is that it's because of the emotional attachment to that. When I believe that love energy is the most powerful energy in the universe, and obviously each connection is different, so you are gonna feel more. I'd say more hurt, really. Now, hurt is obviously on the emotional scale, is sort of, you're going downwards, and it's really hot, especially when it is a relationship type thing, which, obviously, I've experienced my fair share of that, recent. And yeah, I was in, it was awful. I might as well throw it out there now while we're talking about it.
I was
I
just
had,
asking a general question. I didn't mean to think, but
no.
again, we all have these challenges, and it's
Mhm,
that emotional attachment, and I'm sure you're going to touch on it in a minute. And
mhm,
it's that kind of how we've been brought up to have a relationship. What are our expectations of a relationship? Do we? And I know I kind of, I have really like big dreams and I have high expectations, and sometimes them expectations I couldn't live up to them, so let alone anybody else. And then the bigger picture of it all is it's not about them, is it? It's about
Exactly.
yourself. So
It's about you.
I'm gonna let you continue. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we've obviously we've spoken about this, you know, we've touched on this subject a lot. And even in the last, I'd say even in the last 3 months or so, that I've learned such a massive, massive lesson in this area as well. Yeah, in my belief, you know, especially in relationships and things like that, you know, you have to be happy first. That makes sense. Um, you know, it's not. I'm trying not to, you know, on my views, I'm trying to make it more holistic, but it's sort of, you know, it's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy.
Absolutely not.
That should that that's your responsibility just as much as it's not your responsibility to make him happy. You know, you're both on separate journeys, but deciding to walk this path together. You know, so by giving yourself that self-love and gaining that happiness within yourself, I truly believe that you will be in a really happy relationship. Now I say happy relationship, what I mean by that is that you're both grateful, you're not putting any expectations on the other person, you're just experiencing life together. And
So
that's, I
creating it
truly
at its
believe,
best way, isn't it? So, and
and
you
that's what,
do.
yeah.
And so
Mm,
many of us, and I know myself as well, we get into those same relationships and it's that same cycle, same type of behaviors. And when we're aware and when we know what we want, how we, you know, what we're,
mm,
how we respect ourselves, it's about them boundaries, isn't it? And it's about you will allow people to treat you on a level of how you treat
mm,
yourself. So the
exactly.
more we build ourselves up, the more we look at the gratitude, the more we put these habits in place, the more we build our self-respect. And this is what
Yeah,
causes a lot of conflict in relationships as well. And as we grow and as we change into, you know, this person who we then become to love even more, it kind of leaves
yeah,
us with a bit of an icky, you know, things change, and as human beings we don't like change, do we? So, but
exactly.
again, it's a journey and it's learning, and it's learning how to co-create together. Like you say, we're
Yeah,
building together. So I use that word co-create because I'm just big creative. It's just kind of the word that I'm throwing about at the moment. So
yeah,
it's what I mean by that though. It's having an idea of who you are and what you want, and again for the other person, whether that is, you
yeah,
know, a romantic relationship, a friend relationship, a business relationship. Do they
yeah.
uplift you? Do they inspire you? Are they, you know, are they your biggest cheerleader? And like you just
Yes,
said, you know, this first bit at the beginning, and it sounds really bizarre, but my biggest cheerleaders are people I have never met. They're people that
same.
know about me. I have close friends who don't know, you know, that my biggest kind of encouragement, my inspiration, and I put, you know, you follow me in the morning, so I put my morning quotes on, and I've had questions, you know, should I not do that? Should I do that? But that helps me. That's one of my
Yeah.
habits in the morning to say, hey, this
Mhm.
is me. This is how I'm focusing my head. And all of them good mornings are all like, hey, these are people that are supporting me and inspiring me. So it's making sure that we kind of know ourselves, isn't it? And finding that
Yeah,
place to then
definitely.
be happy and kind of
Yeah.
build from, isn't it? And it's that continue to growth. It's when I know I always get like itchy feet, and I talk a lot with my hands, sorry. But
I can sign language as well, so it's fine. If you want to go down that route, let's go.
but I get like really itchy feet when I feel as though I'm starting to kind of mellow out, when I feel as though things are getting settled, when, you
Mhm.
know, if things aren't moving in the right direction and it's like a pattern starting to form, I start getting like really, I wouldn't say insecure, although it used to be an insecurity. Now I've kind of turned it and I've channeled it into a different way. But for me, it's picking up on them feelings, it's picking up on the
Yeah,
vibes, and it's being able to look at myself and say, what energy are you passing off? You know, am I getting grumpy? Because I do get grumpy. You know, am I snapping because the housework needs
yeah,
doing and I feel overwhelmed and I'm tired, and all of these different things that come into it. So I'm just going to move on to the second question because me and you are going to be on here till this evening.
yeah, I
Um,
swear.
have you always felt, so you've just said to us that today you feel like an 8, and you touched on it brilliantly, And it was more of, you didn't feel that way this morning. And some mornings you feel a lot worse, and you, even in the negative you mentioned, and that is, that is
Yeah.
something, again, it is admirational to be able to be aware of where you are and to build that energy up. And this is what we're talking about, isn't it? So when we talk about we're doing the mindset, we're putting things into our mind that is helping us feel good, making us push forward, that's giving us that inspiration and the motivation to push forward. So question 2, have you always felt like this? We know, as anybody that's been watching this know, that there's something coming. So would you mind just to share a little bit, anything that you're comfortable with that we can put out there? And yeah, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I haven't always felt like this. Even just been the last, I'd say, 8 weeks, I've really grown a lot. And I believe as well that through every painful thing that happens, you grow through that. It again, it's a choice. You either go down the spiral that I have been. I'm not ashamed to admit, I have had a mental breakdown in the past. That was a collaboration of a lot of things that happened. Like I say, I'm willing to share, because I know that it'll help people. I've never spoke about this online before. So yeah, I had a major crash. Over a period of 5 years, I had 5 miscarriages. Then was told that I had stage 3 cervical cancer, had part of my cervix removed, and the hospital said I would never have children again. So for me, as a person who always wanted a family, um, crushed everything really. But for a long time, I was in victim mode, and through one thing and another, I lost everything. Okay, I lost my 16-year relationship, um, my career that I had, everything. Okay, so it took a long time to pull myself back. Yeah, it wasn't easy. Like again, I'm gonna, give it up to the NHS. Absolutely amazing. It's hard, obviously, because that's my profession. Going into a place, obviously, where people knew who I was, that was hard. And it was sort of the shame of it as well. And it shouldn't really have felt like that. Nobody actually made me feel like that. That was just me. I felt ashamed. I felt like I wasn't strong. I felt like I was worthless, really. And piled loads of weight on. I mean, I ended up being a size 26. It was just, yeah, it wasn't a great time. But that's why I started listening to. Um, I'm not religious. I'm a Christian. I've been christened, but I'm not. Don't go to church or anything like that. I never did. Sorry. And I got into sort of crystal healing and things like that, and started looking. I don't know. I just needed something. I don't even know. I must have been getting guided. That's what I'm thinking now. Obviously, years down the line. But and I got into the law of attraction. I got into Abraham Hicks, who literally changed my world really. But don't get me wrong. This wasn't a quick fix. It really wasn't. It took a lot of me opening up really, which I hadn't done, because it's hard, because people don't want to talk, especially when you're upset and they don't know what to say. They're like, oh, God, she's crying again, I don't know what to do. That's what people around me were like, because I'm embarrassed for that. It was sort of, I made everybody feel like they were on eggshells, and it should never have been that way. But in victim mode again, like I I was selfish. I didn't care what my effect was having on everybody else. I just felt like my whole world had died, had gone, and that's why that's why I practice gratitude every single day. Every single day I open my eyes, and regardless whether I feel like it or not, I get my journal and I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for every single day. And yeah, that's it really does help. So if anyone's watching who feels low or anything, just please do it for yourself. Like, raise your own vibration, because nobody can do it for you. They can't. You've got to do it yourself.
And
You are.
thank you so much. And I know how difficult that was to even talk through it. And I managed without the tissues. But I just, and when we do these and when we do these lives, it's a big release for yourself as well. So, it's being open and being able to talk about it. You're not talking on it here. You're not coming on to say, hey, feel sorry for me, do this. You're saying the complete opposite. It's not about what situation you're in. It's not about what you've gone through, where you are. It's about what you're going to do about it today. And
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I am, and it is so powerful. And anybody that has been through, what you've been through, what I've been through, what anybody, it doesn't matter. You can move that way up. You can get the help. And and you've mentioned that the NHS, you've had different support. We won't go into that now. But I just want to say a huge thank you for sharing that. I hope you feel good about it, and this will change somebody's life. Even just the split. Okay, where do I need to go? Do I need to reach out for support? Do I need to journal? Do I need to...
And do it.
Yeah,
do
and it's
it.
that taking action, isn't it? And we all do it. We get stuck in a rut of so much of I can't. If you tell yourself you can't, change it around. Just get rid of that word I can't.
Well, people are embarrassed by it. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, it's you. Doesn't it's you. It's you in your mind forever. Just just honestly take action. Exactly what you said. And do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, as soon as you if you question yourself that, I think I might need help, even if that question just goes through for a split second in your mind, go and get some help at that point. That is your intuition telling you that you need to change your perspective. You need to look at things in a different way. You need to make some changes. And, we get called all the time. And it's like, you touched upon everything that had happened, and it makes complete sense why you'd feel the way you do and why everything else fell apart around you. But that was that self-destruct from yourself that you're aware of, you've come to terms with, and it's by looking at yourself and your own behaviors and your habits that, unfortunately, you're very similar to me. We learn the lesson over and over and over again, because, well, for me, I learned the hard way, and that's all I can say. I'm very trusting. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll give and give and give. And I know my story. I've suffered with depression, and I've lost myself completely. And I know I haven't experienced what you've come across and your challenges, but what I have experienced is the low mood, the not being able to, the paralyzation of not being able to think for yourself, not being able to find anything to be happy for. We can all smile, but is that smile real? And it is so powerful. I've got goosebumps. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got really big goosebumps. And this is just a massive inspiration. So I'm just going to go on to the next one. So, what thoughts, feelings, and habits? You've mentioned gratitude. What do you feel that's changed, that's transformed your life? And if it is gratitude, how, and what have you noticed from doing that what's come about from it?
Okay, well, I mean, again, gratitude. What I learned now, I had a lot of counselling and CBT and things like that, which was fantastic, and basically, and read a lot of books. Well, I won't obviously, if anybody wants to know, then obviously just give Lauren a message or whatever. But
I'll myself,
yeah. Yeah. And it's really just sort of reprogramming your mind, because I mean I believe that, you know, even from small, you know, children pick up learned behaviors, you know, from what they see around, or you know, and that becomes the normality type thing. That doesn't actually mean that that's the right way. That's just how it's always been, if that makes sense. So I started reading and getting really deep into like subliminal mind programming and things like that. Got really deep into that, and meditation. I meditate every day. As soon as I open my eyes, I put Abraham on, raise my vibration in 10 minutes. It's literally a 10-minute audio, and yeah, sets me off for the day. I never ever go a day without that. I did once and cried all day. So I don't do that anymore. Again, learning the hard way, as Lana said. And I also, like I say, do my gratitude as well, but that's once I've got up and I'm making, you know, I have a brew and then I sit and do that after raising my vibration. And I also meditate in the evening as well. Put my phone down, make sure that I do at least half an hour, 45 minutes. And if that's still not enough, because sometimes it's not, depending on what's happened in the day, but I sort of I've sort of got a control over my emotions now. Well, I wouldn't say 100%, but
You're human.
I can actually feel when something's about to blow, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I will do something instantaneously there that makes me laugh, or that
vibration, and to change that state and going back into that victim mentality. I completely follow where you're coming from with that. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I love that.
And I learned all that obviously through the LOA, you know, law of attraction and things like that, you know. But it's not just all about that, you know. Some people don't believe in that. That's cool. It's whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat.
It's what helps you, isn't it? It's what gives you that, like, the excitement, the energy. And I know, because I'm doing my practitioner course at the moment, and I know just like just reading the material, just looking at it, knowing that I've got some set time to do that, I'm like, yes, I can't wait for that. And you know, and it's having that fire, it's having that passion, and it's pushing forward with it, isn't it? It's so
definitely.
Can I just ask you that, and this is really a question for myself, but while I've got you, so you say you meditate at night for about half an hour, 45 minutes. Now, I've got one of these minds that, although I can get to that place, I can ground myself and I can get to that the peaceful feeling, that for me that's kind of my cut-off point with meditation. And I don't know, I've never asked this question before and it's just come up now. So when you feel that vibe, do you kind of stay there? Do you just
I love
like embrace it as much as you can, or does it still take you a while, obviously depending on the day, depending on the challenges that you're overcoming, and especially if we're having a tough time, I can understand but do you never kind of like switch off, or do you, it's just for anybody that's looking at trying it, because I know I kind of say, right, I'm feeling there now, and the longer I continue, it's like I'm kind of, I get not bored.
Do you continue with your breathing? So do you concentrate on your breath?
Yeah, so I go more mindful, and I go down the approach of like the next steps that I do. I'll look at affirmations and I'll do my gratitude. And now I've got to a place where I'll say my gratitudes out. I write them down in the morning, but in the evening I'll say them out to myself. And that kind of comes from, you know, it's just what you learn over the time, isn't it? So, but definitely when I was starting, I was writing it down. And now, like you're mentioning, you know, you can feel your energy shifting, you can feel that mood. So when I kind of, and I did it this morning, I put the kettle on and I got this really like sickly butterfly kind of excitement, fearful, and I think it was because of this live, because I felt absolutely fine since I've pressed go live. And I could feel that. So what I did was just pick up the pen and didn't even think of what to write. I just started writing about, I feel like this. And as I've done it, I've then kind of uncovered it, and the feeling went away. You know, I accepted the feeling. Is there. Thank you for being there. I've really took on this notion of being your own best friend, and it's kind of how I'm pushed forward. You know, any advice that you would give your best friend, any situation you're in, take a step back before you react. We were talking about reactions before, weren't we? So take a step back and say, oh, what would I say to my best friend, you know, whoever they are, Mary, Bob, or whatever, and take that advice. Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
And that
And
is
the
the
thing is,
hardest
we
point.
are. Honestly, I mean, I heard this quote not long ago, and it said, we're our own worst critic. You would never dream of speaking about anybody else the way we speak about ourselves, like, oh, I'm
No.
stupid, oh, I'm lazy, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm this. What you're actually doing is putting out and putting that out there, that you believe that that's true, and that's not true. You should always be your number one cheerer, and it is hard, uh, you know, but anything that's worth doing is hard. Like, and then it becomes easy because
Well,
you've done
that's
it.
it, isn't it? It's hard to to break the habit. It's that kind of that uncertainty, and our brains are wired
Hmm.
to keep us in a routine, to keep us safe. They don't know any different. Our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference
Yeah,
between visualizing something and actually going through it. So it's I won't get I'll go on forever if I get onto that subject.
I
So
love all this
again,
though. I would listen forever.
it's so powerful, isn't it? The mind, and your perception on everything, and how open you are to questioning, is this working for me? Does this belief actually fit what
Yeah,
I want, my dreams, my desires? And I know so many people I'll speak to, and a quick example I could give is the job scenario, and I'll give it the example on myself because recently I've been up and down with this, and I went part-time about 8 months ago. And from that, it was so that I could, one, have more control over when I work around the children and different things because I was struggling with childcare. Um, but then I found that I was getting stuck in this scarcity mentality. I was not taking steps forward to my dream because I didn't have a shift booked in, or I didn't know what I was doing in a couple of weeks' time. And I started making that my excuse. It was, well, I don't know how much money is coming in that week, so I need to focus my attention on getting shifts in, which I couldn't do anything about. It was literally in somebody else's hands
yeah,
before I would then take a step towards, building my courses, building my products. I've done so much recently, and it's all coming
yeah,
together. But it's that the fear that we've been talking about.
yeah.
It's walking through them, and it doesn't matter whether it takes you 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. As long as you're taking a step each and every day towards whatever it is, things are going to start opening up to you. Your mind opens up, and you're
100%.
living proof of it. I'm living proof of it, and it is just, again, it's powerful. I'm going on there. I can feel myself just ramble and ramble. I could talk about it forever because I'm so passionate about it, and it comes from that place of love, and it comes from that place of
Yeah,
if I can do it, so can you. And if I can share these tools that
exactly.
work for me, maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't, but I know there is
Yeah,
something out there that will work for you.
exactly.
And by opening your mind to what we're saying, could take you on
Yeah,
that path. It could bring up something for you, and there you go, you're
100%.
on that journey. So we're gonna have to try and wrap this up. We've been on for 40 minutes.
You're
40 minutes.
joking.
I've swiped the comments, so if anybody, I don't know if anybody's on, so but thank you so much. If anybody is commenting, I don't know how to get it back on my iPad, you see, and last time I messed
Yeah,
about, the screen switched and all sorts. So,
yeah, cool.
okay, number 4, what advice would you give somebody if they wanted to change, if they were stuck, if they were in a situation where they were thinking, enough's enough, I really need something to just to get that motivation flowing? And I know what you're going to say. I'm thinking of it while I'm talking. And so, what thoughts, feelings, or behaviours what information could you give them to create a new habit?
Well, first of all, to create a new habit, you've got to have self-discipline, I believe. You've got to set a goal and go, right, okay, I can achieve this. I can. And that's all come with self-belief. So really, if you are thinking of doing, I don't know, like Lauren said, taking that, getting a new course, or wanting to, to go to uni, or do this, or like you say, put mindset rituals into place. It's all that you've got to self-educate yourself as well. So not everything works for everybody. So it's sort of what works for you. But the first and foremost, I would say, was just to reach out to somebody who you it can sort of be like an accountable buddy as well. You know, it can be someone who you don't know, like, so reach out to us or whatever, or reach out to someone who's really close to you. I always find that talking to somebody who you don't know personally is always a little bit easier. And like obviously me and you know, when I'm feeling down, I sort of message you because you're my go-to. So I would say to sort of have a go-to person who you know can really sort of, you know, either help you
I
achieve and
find
help
while
you.
you're on that, because I've done this and I'm just, I agree exactly with what you're saying, but it's finding someone on your level. Do you think that is finding somebody that you know you
Yeah.
can relate to? And because I've done it in the past and I've gone to people that are kind of, I've gone to people that are highly educated, they're like where I want to be, but I know I've got a long place to get there. But then what I've kind of found myself is I've got a little bit stuck and I found I'm comparing and it's like, why are they there? What am I doing wrong? What am I not doing? And then
Yeah.
it was probably a good while ago now, I started thinking, what is it with you? And I've started attracting my tribe. I've started attracting some absolutely incredible people. And, it's crazy how it opens up, isn't it? When you start believing in yourself, when you know
Yeah.
the path that you're taking, your values, your beliefs that are your own beliefs. And
Yours. Yeah.
yeah, and it's questioning and it's questioning, and we're not turning around. And I've had a few conversations where a few people say, oh no, I've been told that and that is true. And if that's true for you, that is so, so cool. That is, carry on doing what you're doing. But for a lot of people, their truths actually come
Yeah.
from maybe a parent or from a teacher or from somebody. There's some comments that are made like through school. I was
Yeah.
bullied through school, and I've also, I can remember a few teacher comments, and one of them is you'll never exceed. And even though he didn't mean that
Right.
in the context I took it, he didn't mean it as in everything in life. But because of how low I was on that day and because of how I was feeling and how I'd interpreted my world, I
Yeah.
carried that. And it was, when I actually found that through journaling. So if anyone wants to dig deep, journaling is the best way to get
It
that
is.
information out there. And
It
I
really is.
found that so powerful because I carried that with me for over a decade. And this
Yeah.
was just a wipe away comment, and I was probably messing about and not listening. And it was just a throwaway comment. If you carry on like that, you're not going to,
You're not
exceed.
gonna.
And
Yeah.
I've held that and let it think. So we've all got these limiting beliefs. We've all got these things that are holding us back. And we're here saying, it's getting rid of them. It's being
Yeah.
aware of them and putting tools into place so that we can then
Definitely.
become our own self. You
Definitely. I
agree?
totally. Yeah. Totally. And I just think, just believe that you can, and then find out how to do it later.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, and it's the only way we can know because and it goes with affirmations. Do you do affirmations?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Not as much as what I used to. But I have a subliminal. As I listen to a subliminal every single night while I'm asleep. I
So
mean, I
that's just
can't
the
hear
same
it.
for you.
Yeah. So that's like subliminal positive affirmations throughout the night. So I'll you can't hear it, it's just like music, but subconsciously, like your subconscious mind takes that in. So I try and always sleep in the vortex. And if people don't know what that is, then it, doesn't matter. So you've sort of got to know what it is, isn't it? But yeah, so I give myself the best possible chance of waking up in the morning as possible. So yeah, so no, I should do more. Actually, you've just reminded me. Yeah, I'll do more.
But this is it, and it's picking up on things. If we didn't have that conversation, you wouldn't have picked up on. I need to do a bit more of that because actually, it really
Yeah,
does help me. And it might not
exactly.
work for everybody. I know. I used to do hypnotherapy, and I did with YouTube videos. Paul McKenna. I had insomnia for a good 3 or 4 months. It was, and I was just
Amazing.
absolutely drained, but I started just putting it was on YouTube, it's free, put my headphones in and just slept with that for over, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks, but
Mhm.
after a few days, I
Yeah,
started, things started changing and I was looking at things differently and everything like that. And the same for the affirmations, the more we repeat these things, these positive,
yeah,
inspirational actions that we want to take, that
yeah,
is how we're then going to be able to move forward. In a habit and a belief is just a thought that we think over and over again. It isn't real. We don't
exactly.
carry it with us. It is just that. It is a decision.
That's it. Yeah,
So
it is what it is. You've hit the nail right on the head.
So should we call it a day
In our
there?
opinion.
50 minutes.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Don't
sorry.
apologise. No, this is absolutely incredible. And do you know what? I'm actually thinking, because there's so much I can take from each and every one of this, and thank you so much. You know, you've inspired me so much, as well as everybody else that is going to watch this. But I am
You inspire me.
maybe snipping little bits down and, you know, bringing it together. And so, but I'll discuss that off here, and we'll see. And I just want to say a huge thank you. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If everybody who's been watching this, I'm so sorry I had to switch the comments off. I will go back over it now. And thanks again for watching, and have a fabulous Friday. Take care.